Looks like we're on board. Looks like I got two watchers there. Watching something. Watching nothing. Well, good for you. Well, there we go. Ready to go. Right on time. Good evening is the frequency in use. Fine business. Good evening. My name is Paul. Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex radio net. Is there any emergency or priority travel? I thought not. If there is any emergencies, please don't hesitate to give us a call, but call 911 first. If you can't do that, then call us. We'll be happy to tell you jokes and try to commiserate with you while you suffer. Net may be broken at any time for that. For information on this net, you can see me and hear the net. Principally, you'd want to hear the net, not necessarily see me. On YouTube, it's Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey, K4PEW in the YouTube search block. Should bring you right there. Or you can look me up under the word, one word, Brain Trusts, BRAINTRUSTS. It's a Brain Trust channel. You can also see us on our website, Kilo nothing. It's 146415.net. I'll say it again since it's hard to remember that number, 146415.net. Or you can see us on our Yahoo group, which is MJ_SS, and it's in the groups section. Yahoo groups, MJ, Mike Juliet _SS. And it doesn't stand for Secret Service. Or you can send me an email at Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey at ARRL.net. We normally meet, and we have met every week or so, both times a week, 8 p.m. on Wednesdays and Saturdays on 146415, where we are right now, in case you happen to be off frequency. Purpose of that is to have fun, to get to know other people, to improve your station so you can hear better. I think that a lot of people have increased their station's capabilities simply because they couldn't hear everybody I was talking to, which is kind of neat. It forces, it induces, it makes people interested in hearing more with their radios that they have, and that's worked out very well. We now have about, probably 7 or 8 of the really finest antennas available to mankind, at least in the ham radio world. At least on the 2 meter sub dual band, 24-foot tall antennas, and we've got like I said, I think 7 or 8 people here on the net that use them. At any rate, I'll get this straight here in a second. Announcing amateur radio events and activities. I'll say mine first, which is tomorrow night. There is a net on the Wilson County Amateur Radio Club's repeater at 8 p.m. at 147.105. I usually send out a reminder on that. And it's a plus offset in a PL of 156.7. And of course, we have our net on Saturday night, which is only a few days away. It's only a jump from Wednesday to Saturday. Feels like it's one day later sometimes. And I think that's all I have. We're coming up, and since we're in September, that's a big announcement, of course. Not sure what we're going to do, if anything. Maybe we got to do something. But the anniversary of our first net, which was 5 years ago, September 24th. So that's a Wednesday, so it's kind of cool with that. We'll do something. I don't know what it is. It's 5 years. And of course, this is net number, what net number did I say this was? It's net number 515. That's 515 nets. I was out a few days, a couple of times out of town or out of my mind or in the hospital. So there was a few nets in there I didn't do, but we collectively did 515 nets over the last almost 5 years, 4 years. And let's see, do my math here. 4 years and 3 weeks. Excuse me, 4 years and 49 weeks. All right, we'll be starting from the west tonight. So without further ado, as I heard on the TV again, I hate that word. I'm using the French word adieu. Without further ado, let's start with whoever's from the west. Please come in.
You're on 4G.
Hey, man, you're being a regular guy here. What's going on, Jeff?
Well, I'm still recuperating from surgery. I do return to work Monday, but I'm going to take advantage of it while I can, check in when I can because I like doing it.
Ah, very good. You sound great. When you last night, could you hear? I'm trying to remember if I asked you. Did you hear almost everybody?
Just about. Some people barely broke squelch. I think they're mostly in the south region, but just had the mountains and stuff to try to go through. But I did get most everyone. I think there was a station out in Ashland City that was kind of marginal.
Yeah, he'd be a little rough for you, and then the fellow down in Shelbyville, that area might be a little rough for you too.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. I mean, it just I wasn't really keeping up with it, but I knew there was a couple of them that one or two I could not hear, and there were a couple that were marginal.
Yeah, very good. And I take it you're. When did you say you're going back to work? And you've been on the mend now for almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, I returned Monday.
Ah, very good. Well, I hope everything goes well for you. Probably feel good to get back to work.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of bored sitting around. I'm feeling pretty good. No pain pills today, so still a little sore at the incision spots, but other than that, I'm pretty much good to go. I just can't really. I'm not gonna go out and try to lift anything or do anything strenuous yet, but I'm getting there.
Well, I can gas up the mower, and all you got to do is get in and ride and mow my lawn over the weekend if you want to.
I need to do mine first. The only problem with that, I've got. I live on a corner lot, and there's a ditch around it. Part of it's at a 45-degree angle. I'm not able to go out there and push a mower, but I can do the riding part.
Oh yeah, yeah. I see some of those yards that are like that, man. They're a little rough because you have to use a push mower. You can't possibly use use a riding lawnmower. Well, very good, Jeff. You sound great, and I'm glad you're doing well. Back to work on Monday. That's Jeff in Madison, who's overcoming some surgery, and that's Whiskey Yankee 4 Golf, and he's in Madison. Again, good to hear from you, Jeff. I don't want you to stay out of work, but it's great hearing from you for several nights in a row. Who else we got west?
KD4IAL.
Hello, Harold. You doing well?
I am. I came back inside. How you doing? Oh, I'm on low power. Let me bump it up.
You don't have to be on any power. You can be on 1 watt to me, you know.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't bumping very good on your needle.
Okay, you're watching. Hey, I was reading. Do they give you production numbers at the plant?
What we do on a shift?
Well, kind of just. The reason I say that, I saw where some in the news about productions were down. They weren't talking about your plant. They were just talking about industry in general. I thought, I don't know what that means. They said that industrial numbers are starting to slide.
Well, it's not. It's not that we're not producing. It's they're not selling.
Oh, is that the deal?
Yeah, that's the bottom line. If it's not selling, then they're not going to produce it. They've done that in the past and had cars sitting all over Nashville, Mount Juliet, airport. It's crazy. And then what they end up doing is crushing them because they don't sell. So that's stupid.
Hey, listen, they'll bring it over to my house, and I promise to crush it in about 8 years.
Yeah.
Oh man, they really do crush them if they don't get them out to the dealers.
Yep.
Okay, call me crazy, but that sounds crazy.
Well, they don't want to sell them to where if they don't sell, they don't want to sell them at a discount price and have somebody else make a profit. They want to make the profit.
Oh no, it also floods the market and it lowers the price for everything else.
Exactly.
No, I understand the economics. I just didn't know they actually got into that hole of overproducing for the market.
It's been a while since they've done that, but yeah, it has happened. In 17 years I've been out there, I've seen it twice, and the second time wasn't as bad as the first, but it's not. Wow, my needle's jumping for some reason. I'm doing something wrong. I'm sitting here watching it and it's bouncing. But anyways, yeah, it happened.
Yeah, that's interesting. By the way, you can put me on the list. I don't know how many cars I can get on a 0.6 acre lot, but I'll do it.
Well, I hear you there. I wouldn't blame you.
Okay, very good, Harold. Harold is over there on Tampa. Is it Tampa Road?
Tampa Drive off Harding Place.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Having lived in Tampa, there was a Tampa Road, and I can't get it out of my brain. It's a very main road to it. It just kind of sticks in. Very good. Tampa Drive near Harding Lane. I got you. Very good. I'm not trying to pinpoint. I just want to give people an idea where you are. That's Kilo Delta 4 India Alpha Lima Harold. All right, good to have you in there, Harold. It's good to have you on the air regularly in the evening from an indoor shack. The only time I ever heard you was when you were mobile. I think for the past, how many years?
At least one or two. Since you've been doing it.
I bet it has been that long, too. Well, very good, Harold. Good to have you there. Who else? Wes, please come down.
KN4CJF.
Hey, listen, you get busy with your daughter's wedding preparation and getting those bridesmaids all in order so you can, cater their party, and I'll be happy.
All right, I will do it. As a matter of fact, I'm on the move right now. That's why I missed getting in there first. I tried to.
You don't have any more daughters to marry off, do you?
No, sir.
All right, consider yourself blessed.
Well, I actually have one that's still single, so I guess that is in the air.
I got you. Boy, that sure is going around, isn't it? A lot of young people these days aren't getting married. I got married twice before I was 35, so I guess I made up for you guys and for the other people.
That's right. Yeah. Anymore, it's a different animal now.
Yeah. My youngest son, my oldest boy didn't get married till he was 43 or 44. My middle boy didn't get married till he was 45, which was just happened this year. And my youngest boy isn't married yet at 34.
Yeah, there you go. I tell you, man, I just never thought about this until about 6 months ago when we heard, hey, we're getting married. And I was like, well, great. Now it's here, and I'm like, well, great.
Yeah, well, it'll be good. It'll be good. I mean, then you and your wife will have all the little time in the world to yourselves.
Yeah, I know. If she don't quit with these lists, she might be doing them by herself. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I know she's not in that room.
She's not here.
Very good. All right, that's Rick. He's over in Ashland City. It's Kilo November 4 Tango Juliet Lima, and he is it's Tango Juliet Foxtrot, isn't it?
That's correct.
Yeah, I don't know. Somehow I wrote an L in there for some reason. I knew it didn't look right. Yeah, you got to have pity on Rick. His daughter's getting married this weekend, and his list of things to do for the wedding and for his wife and for his daughter and the bridesmaids is really long. So I'll be thinking about it. Maybe go over and volunteer. All right, who else we got? West.
KM4YRF.
So what are you doing for your brother to help him out?
Well, I would be helping, but I've been sick.
Yeah, I'm not feeling real well myself.
The things he had to do was not much as I could help with, but I would if I could.
Well, that's right, because it's your niece, right?
That's right.
Yeah, no. Hey, listen, I was thinking about that check-in procedure you're telling me about on that other net, and I figured I'd start one, I don't know, maybe after the 5-year mark, we'll actually have to check in alphabetically based upon the middle initial of your father's oldest second cousin's middle initial.
Oh, you're making it easy.
There you go. And if everybody has at least like maybe a week to think about it.
It'd take me a month to figure that out.
I don't even know who my father's second cousin is.
I don't even know if my father had a second cousin.
I know I got second cousins, but I don't remember whose his are. All right, very good, Mike. Good to hear you in there. Yeah, try to keep Rick in line. He's going to go crazy before Saturday. That's Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. That's Michael. He's in Belshire. Who else? West, please come in. West of Mount Juliet, anywhere, Memphis, and between here and Memphis.
Whiskey 4, Alpha Whiskey Echo.
That certainly qualifies as being between me and Memphis.
Yeah, pretty close.
I don't know if you heard Michael bragging about how much he likes that 991 rating.
Yeah, he sounds great on it. It's really nice to hear it on the air.
Yeah, it's better than sitting around, just sitting in a box doing nothing.
Yeah, it's just I really enjoyed it going to somebody I know.
You didn't? Did you see that article I sent out about the SDR conversion on that radio?
On the 991?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Well, it should be. Are you on the mailing list?
I don't know that I am.
Well, I'll send you the article. The guy ripped apart. I say ripped apart. He opened up the 991, and he went in and changed the 2-port USB bus to a 4-port, plugged in an SDR, RTL SDR, the USB thing, and then somehow, which I don't understand how he did it, but he pulled the signals out of the 991, brought them into the SDR, RTL SDR, and sends them out to his PC.
That's pretty cool. In fact, there's a little company, I believe it's in Europe, that a couple of months ago just introduced a beautifully made circuit board that's very easy to install. It just plugs in for the 7300 that does exactly the same thing. And I wonder if it's the same company who went in and did something similar for the 991.
No, this guy apparently was just some Spanish guy, some Spanish. I presume he's an engineer. He might be just a technician. I don't know, but he sounds like he did a good job. It says it took him 6 months, but I can't imagine why it took that long.
Well, that's great. Yeah, it's just it's always wonderful to see the innovation that keeps coming out.
Yeah, well, what I think I was telling somebody earlier today, I think I was telling Michael who's got the 991. I think the next rev is going to be they're going to hook up the 991 to an Alexa.
Yeah, that would be interesting. You know, it's funny. I mean, we often hear about people lamenting the end of home brewing, but actually, to a certain extent, home brewing in terms of hot rodding and modifying is very alive and well.
Oh, I think it is. Everything I've seen it is. It's people are messing with all these microcomputers and doing things that have never even been thought of before. I mean, at least at the local level.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it adds a feature or does something really nice for the ham to use. And in fact, that group out in Tucson, Tapper, that has a conference, I think, once or twice a year. It's mostly engineers. They are always developing amazing stuff.
Well, it's funny because a lot of stuff, as you know, gets developed inside major manufacturing institutions that try to meet some usually military spec. And then that finds its way out into the marketplace sometime later as great change to something else altogether different.
Yeah, and with the culture like it is in many large corporations, especially ones that are dealing with government contracts, a lot of the guys in Tapper, and they have a lot of their presentations on YouTube, are guys who have retired, who were formerly product engineers at huge corporations and are now sort of free to do ideas that never would have made it through marketing in prior days.
Yeah, no, it really is. I forget what that rule they say about, how things advance double every so many years. It seems like it's doubling every month or so.
Yeah, it's almost like the atmosphere of the old Bell Labs.
Well, it's funny when what we take for granted now was a huge innovation 75 years ago.
I just got an engineering magazine that comes out, I think, maybe quarterly to Vanderbilt alumni, and it's astonishing the amount of satellite and ham radio projects that the current engineering school is working on.
Yep. Well, I think you know Robin, don't you? K4IDC.
I know Robin, but I've never met him.
Well, he's working on some of those projects.
Yeah, that's great. In fact, doesn't he sponsor the club over at the university?
He does, although it's like a lot of university clubs, it's a little slim.
Well, especially during summer months.
Yeah, it's hard to get people on the air over there because they're busy.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, I was lucky if you could get 4 hours of sleep at night. They gave you a lot of homework in engineering school.
Well, some are slower learners than others too.
Yeah, I mean, it was a grind, but at least you were learning something new every day.
Yeah, well, I know that in my own experience, for every hour you spend in class, you probably are spending 4 hours easily, outside of class.
Yeah, and the reality of engineering school is you really don't start learning until you get out in the field later on. But that's when you start. Basically, what they're teaching you is how to study.
Yeah, how to be receptive, because the fact that I know in the field I worked in, it was I could look at a set of plans and say, yep, they stuck a brand new guy in this one.
yeah, yeah, there's nothing more dangerous than a new engineer out of college.
Well, we bring it to their attention, the rest of the people in the community, in our community. Usually the engineer, the one who is the principal engineer for the project, okay, we'll get that fixed.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of what it was like in the Army. I mean, a smart, young first lieutenant, the most valuable person he's going to latch on to is an experienced master sergeant.
Oh yeah, it's that's what the young officers I know in the Navy. That's what they were told usually in their school. I don't know. Not I guess they did. They probably taught it at Annapolis too, but I heard it more from the OCS guys. Who the 90-day wonders. They go, just find the chief, the CPOs, and make him your friend.
Yeah, because that's where all the experience and all those branches of military ends up, with those chiefs and master sergeants.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No question about it. And those are the good guys, really, because they've been through the mill and they know everything. Well, they know most things, or they know how to get it done. One of the two. Very good, John. Good to have you in there. Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo. He's over in Bellevue. Great signal as always. Who else, Wes?
Katie OEM.
Hey, Mary. How you doing?
Hi, Paul. Doing great tonight. And you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad tomorrow is supposed to cool off. Is that still true? I haven't looked.
I don't know. I looked at a forecast earlier this week, and it was going to be at least 90 every day. So, but it might have been, it might have changed since then. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, for some reason I thought it was going to drop off into the 80s tomorrow, but I really didn't even double check that.
Well, I sure would welcome it back. I like those few days we had when it was low humidity and cool as hell.
Oh yeah, no, it's funny. I walk out. I have this timing. I can walk out from the house in the heat of the day, like right at 1 or 2 o'clock, and I can walk out to the mailbox in my bare feet. And when I come back in, my feet are really too hot to be walking anymore on the concrete. And then I step on this black mat and about sings my feet off because it's so hot.
Sure. Oh my goodness. I go barefoot all the time. Once I get home, I'm barefoot. So, yeah, sometimes I go out on the asphalt turnaround and I'm like, well, you got too far away, jump on the grass.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. And I'm partially because I never used to do I never grew up that way. Never. I mean, the only time you went barefoot is if we were in a pool or when there was a sprinkler outside. And living in the north, I don't know, maybe it was just custom. I don't know. We never went outside without shoes, unless, like I said, pool, a backyard pool or in a sprinkler. And I moved to Florida, and I never wore shoes when I was at home.
Yeah, I grew up in South Georgia, Thomasville, down by Tallahassee, Florida, and I never wore shoes at home.
All right, I just looked. It's going to be 86 tomorrow, and then 90 the next day on Friday. So we were both right and both wrong. And then Saturday is supposed to be 87. Sunday, oh man, look at next week. 96, 97, 96, 94, 94. I'm moving to Canada.
That's disappointing to hear. I do not want any more hot weather. But October will be pretty. That's my favorite time of year with all the trees changing and everything. I really appreciated that since I moved up here from Georgia 100 years ago.
Yeah, I agree. It's no, that's what I used to say when I lived in Florida. I said, you know what I like about summer, and people would look at me funny. They go, "What?" I said, "Fall is next."
That's right. That's right. Well, good to talk to you, and I hope you and all the other guys have a good evening. And I will pass the mic over to Marty. Katie for Holy Ann.
Yeah, very good, Mary. How you doing, Marty?
Doing just fine, and I'm having a good day.
Good. Good hot day. I can't believe it's going to be that hot all next week. Dang. That's disturbing.
I don't guess it came.
Well, what is I guess it's what's bothering. I can withstand it. It's just that it doesn't look like it's going to rain for the next 10 days, and that's going to really dry up the lawns.
Well, have a good evening, and I'll talk to you Saturday.
All right, sounds great. Good to hear from you, Marty. That was Marty, Kilo Delta 4, Bravo, Quebec Kilo, and Mary, which preceded him. That's Kilo Delta 4, Oscar, Echo November, and they both live in Belshire. Who else west and or south? Anywhere west, please. Anywhere west. Moving on to the south, then. Please come on.
Hello, Mike 4, November Yankee, Bill.
Hey, Bill. Are you causing all this heat up here?
Sure, I'm moving it to the north to help you folks out.
It is amazing. Like, it's so, that's why I could never figure out why people move to Florida, because it gets so hot in the summer, and I never cared for it much, and now I come up here and it's hotter again.
I don't know. I enjoy Florida.
Oh, no. Florida can be very nice. Don't misunderstand. In fact, what's unusual, people think it's really hot, but where I lived on the West Coast in Tampa, the average summer temperature was usually about 88 or 89. It wasn't in the mid 90s. It wasn't particularly hot. It did stay humid quite a bit, but it did cool off in the evening. It could be comfortable when there were nice days in the summer too.
Well, I think our age has a lot to do with all of it.
Yeah, no. Don't remind me.
Okay, I won't. I'll back out of here and let somebody else get in.
All right, Bill, good to have you in there. That's Bill, Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee, and he's in Murfreesboro with a great signal as always. Who else we got?
W4BX.
Hey, Eddie. Where you been? I ain't heard from you in a few days.
Well, we had company Saturday night, so, ham radio comes second.
No, it's actually third behind family, extended family, your family, and then ham radio.
Oh, okay. Well, I tried to run them off, but I couldn't do it. So, well, hope everybody's doing okay, and looking forward to the next Courtney's meeting.
Oh yeah, well that's only 10 days away or so.
Yeah. Oh well, that's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad at all. Now we have a good time, as I think you already know.
Oh yeah, good time had by all.
Yeah, very good. You can run off your relatives that show up. You say, "Kate, why don't you come out and look at my resistor collection?"
Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess I could try that.
All right, very good. You say, "Hey, look at the new ham radio project I'm working on." They'll leave. All right, very good, Eddie. That's Eddie, Whiskey 4 Echo Bravo X-ray. He's over in Gladeville, and he's got a great signal. And he's filled in for me a few times when I was out of commission. All right, who else? South, please come on.
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
You were being respectful waiting, weren't you there?
Yeah, I was.
Well, you did a good job, and you got a great signal. Hey, well, you got a lot of. I guess you're glad it's not going to rain for the next week.
Yeah, I think I've got everything cut, and just all going to take it easy.
Well, that's true. I mean, it was funny. After that last rain, I decided to fertilize, and I thought, well, it'll rain in a few days. Well, it hasn't rained since, so I'm gonna fertilize in another week, and so it won't rain again.
Oh, you like to be tortured, don't you?
Well, I've been working to get my lawn in great shape, and I don't go crazy. I'm trying to get it so it's filled in the whole lawn and looks decent. At least the weeds are green.
I know the feeling. We'll let you get on with it. KE4FYB.
Very good. That's Larry in Rockvale, and it's Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. Who else out?
84ZGY.
Hey, broke in early. How you doing, Ed?
Oh, not too bad. I sort of coming in a little late, I guess. But anyway, I appreciate you letting me and Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankee. Everything been going good this way.
Yeah, sounds great. No traveling?
Oh, no. I ain't got nothing to go. Just sort of hanging out here on the farm.
All right, very good. Next time you're up here, let us know, and we'll go to breakfast or something.
Well, we'll do that. I sure will. Maybe next time we'll get around here, I may have time to be up and camping in that area anyway. So I'll let you go. Sure enough, sir. I'll let you have it back, Katie, for ZGY.
Yeah, very good. That was Ed. He's down in Shake Rag near Shelbyville. Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankee. Great signal as always. You were on the vertical, Ed?
No, I'm on the beam tonight.
Okay, I was just noticing you have a great signal, of course. Very good. He was on the beam, so pointing north, so I'm pretty sure there's some people that couldn't hear him as well. Who else, Sal? All right, moving over to the east of Mount Juliet.
WA4ZHI.
You're bound and determined to keep Richard out of there, aren't you?
Keep him on his toes.
Yeah, well, he's a little slow. I didn't hear him, actually. So I presume he might not be here tonight. How you doing, Jim? James, excuse me. I know you don't go by Jim.
Kicking around, doing what I have to.
Yeah, well, what I don't want to do is go outside and work when it's so hot like it's been this last day or so.
I don't like that either.
No, it's not that it's so horrible. It's just, I just don't feel like going out and cooking in the summer sun. If it's in the shade, it's not so shabby.
If it's driving in an air-conditioned car, it's okay, but anything else, can't put it on the shelf.
I can hear you go do that echo on the web on the background there.
Echo? Where's it coming from?
It's coming. I can hear that you're on the YouTube feed, I presume.
Oh, maybe I got it too loud.
No, it's all right. I could just hear it come in after you. That's all. No big thing.
How's that now?
Oh no, it's fine. It was fine before. It was just a very faint. I could hear it in the background. Repeating after you spoke. I could hear you speak again very faintly.
He was helping me out.
Yeah, that's right. You don't need any help, man. You're 60 over to me with your inside antenna. Of course, you're only a couple miles away. Anyway, that was James, Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India here in Mount Juliet. Anybody else east, please come in. East of Mount Juliet Road.
Okay, I'm sorry,
Hey, how did you make out at the hospital there, Stan?
Did pretty well, I guess. Had some few hard days after surgery, but I think things are getting to get a little bit better now.
Did they recommend physical therapy for you?
I haven't been back to the doctor yet. I go back next week.
Yeah, I'm just curious how they do that for those disc issues. It is a disc issue, wasn't it?
Yeah, they ended up replacing one. They said the other one that he was going to replace, but somehow or another that section had already fused together. So I'm going to talk to him about that whenever I go back to him.
So they can. What do they replace those with?
He replaced it with some kind of synthetic material that had bone grafted to it.
Well, I guess I didn't know they replaced it with something. That's pretty cool. I mean, there's nothing they can't do these days, huh? Well, I know they can't replace. Let's see, what can't they replace? Kidneys?
Yeah, I know one thing. Whenever we replaced it, it kind of made my neck a little bit longer and strained all the muscles in my neck, so they've been pretty sore.
Oh boy, yeah, that doesn't sound good. That's the kind of uncomfortableness I wouldn't like. I know I fractured in that accident I had. I don't know, cracked one of those vertebrae in my neck, and it was uncomfortable for quite a while.
Yeah, it's getting better, but it's still going to take some time for it to get well.
All right, well, very good. I hope you're going to do better, Stan. Good. I want to hear good reports from you. Kilo November 4 Hotel Quebec Echo Stan, and he's just north of downtown Lebanon. Who else east, please come in?
Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo.
Hey, Richard. Have you heard Kevin? I heard from him in a few days.
Not a peep. I've been monitoring this thing like a hawk, and I haven't heard a thing out of him.
He's avoiding us.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that young man. I'd like to find out, though.
Well, I think the internet gambling people are after him for debt collection.
Oh.
I'm kidding, of course. No, he's got stuff he does. He's got family to do, and you know him. He keeps pretty busy.
Oh yeah, he can find more to do than most anybody I know.
Yeah. So how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I had a interview this morning at 11 o'clock, and I may be taking a part-time job.
Oh boy, that's gonna screw up your free time.
Nah, not too bad. About 25 hours a week, though.
Well, that's screwing up 25 hours a week.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but they'll give you money to spend more on radios.
That's the game plan.
Well, I expect you to have one of those contest stations here in a couple of months.
Oh, absolutely. It's on next on the agenda. I'll settle for that young. What is that thing? Shoot, no. Kenwood. Wait a minute. Hang on.
I'm hanging on.
How about a Kenwood TS440 or 140?
Well, I've got a 440.
You like it?
Yeah, it's a great radio. It's only about 40 years old.
I don't care how old it is, as long as it works.
Where you got one that you want to buy?
Maybe I got one he's wanting to sell me.
Cool. You don't mind me asking how much?
About 3.5.
That's good. That's good. That's a very nice rig actually. It just doesn't have some of the it doesn't have modern features and functions on it, but it gets the signal out and it receives well.
Cool. Well, that's basically what I'm looking for. I don't need a contest rig right now because I would not know how to operate it, quite honestly.
Well, to be fair, anybody with 100 watts and a little bit of patience can get out and have fun.
Well, back in my tape days, I mean, before I ever got my general, long before I got my general, I was eating the world up on 10 meter with 30 watts.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't take 10 meters isn't so good these days, but I'm saying if you got patience and 100 watts, you don't need an amplifier. You can work the world on 100.
Oh, sure. You can work the world on 5 watts, you know how to get the right conditions. Carry on, Paul. Have a great night, and thank you for what you do. Talk to everybody again in 73.
Yeah, very good. That was Richard Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo. He's over just west of Lebanon. Yeah, the only problem with QRP to me, and I did that for a while on digital and invoice. And the only problem with QRP is when you're doing something like 5 watts, lots of people can't hear you and they step all over you. And you have to keep moving around to avoid all those people because it's not they can't hear you, so they don't know any better. All right, who else? Anybody else east? Please come in. Going up to the north, then north of Mount Juliet. East or north?
KB9 RKK.
Are you looking at the map to see if you're east or north?
That's right, I was confused.
That's right. I was born confused.
Then I had it upside down and realized I'm more like I could be west or north, not really east or north.
I got you. How you doing, Frank?
Pretty good. Pretty good today. Didn't have to travel or anything, so that's good.
Yeah, traveling can. I used to like to travel, but not very much. If I was out for a night, it was nice to have a night off for myself, and I could eat dinner and go to sleep if I wanted.
Yeah, no, I just thinking of you see all this hurricane stuff. I got my parents live down in Florida, but they're on the other side, so they were okay. Now it looks like it's going in the Carolinas.
Yeah, well, it's got to go somewhere, and the West Coast usually doesn't get much trouble.
Nope, only if it misses, it turns and it goes into the Gulf, and then the water I don't think is I think it's obviously not as deep, so that also doesn't cause much trouble, I believe.
No, it generally doesn't. You got to remember, I lived on the West Coast for almost 37 years, and we had nominal problems, and I mean almost nothing in those 37 years, except for the one hurricane, and it didn't give us problems hardly at all, and that was Charlie. I forget what year that was. It just went up the middle of the state and gave everybody else problems, and we just had a little bit of the whatever, just winds and stuff a little bit, but nothing serious.
Well, that's good. For the people on the west side there, that it's selfishly good for me because that's where my folks are at. But yeah, it's things are. Sometimes I go, Florida's pretty cool. It would be nice to live there, and there's a lot of good things. And then those hurricanes, it's like Mother Nature, man. You cannot fight that.
Now, Florida has its own hazards, and one of them is obviously the hurricane issues, and then they have the serious. They do have some serious thunderstorms in the summer, as well as lightning is a serious problem, but it's not terrible. It's not like it's life-threatening every day. You just don't go out when it's lightning. And number 3 would be, let's see, we got hurricanes. Oh yeah, tornadoes. There's actually more tornadoes in Florida than there are in any other state in the nation. It's just that they're a lot smaller.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because, well, we know, they say Tampa is the lightning capital of the world. I guess that's why the sports, the teams named that. But those hurricanes, I guess, spawn a bunch of tornadoes as well. And it's just, everything's focusing on the hurricane itself. But I guess, yeah, it does do that.
Yeah, not only, but it also does it just normally when there's when those big thunderstorms move through in the summer, spawns a lot of tornadoes, but they're usually pretty small. Usually, they're not. And lightning's a problem. It's all a problem. And of course, the worst problem is the bugs. More bugs well, oh my gosh. There's more, like you said, the bugs will drive you crazy in Florida.
Comment.
Hey, go ahead, Richard.
Are you referring to the waterfalls that come off the coast as tornadoes?
No. Those are just water spouts. They don't do anything.
I didn't think so. And tell Frank I can hear him just fine. I don't know if he's on his handheld or not, but I can hear him just fine. Yeah, for us, I'll be back to you.
Frank, are you able to hear Richard over there in Lebanon?
Yeah, he's at 9. I'm on the regular radio, so I believe I'm doing 50 on the indoor. But yeah, I can hear him on the HT. He can hear me on the HT. His antenna is really working really well, and that's good because I got the same one that I'm putting up. So hopefully here soon.
Ah, very good. That's at 510.
Yeah, it's the 510. I got the. I didn't get the N connector one. I got the regular, SOP 39 type, but it should be okay. I don't have a super long run anyway, but I can't wait to get it up there.
Oh yeah, no, that'll be great. That's an excellent antenna. That's what I tell people though too, is that you can only do as good as how much money you got, and you can take my antenna. I would say that 700. And if you're in a bad location to begin with, it's not going to be much help.
Yeah, I mean, high gain can sometimes be worse if you're in a hole because it puts the signal down more. But it seems to be that I'm in a good location. People can hear me better than I can hear them, but I think that's just a fluke of the indoor antenna not being completely reciprocal. I expect it to be great. And even if I can just hear the other people, that would just open up a whole nother world.
And I suspect it will. Yeah, you make sure you let me know as soon as you get that up. I want to hear about that. Well, very good. That was Frank. He's over there northwest Wilson, Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo. Anybody else north or east? Anybody else north or east?
KB4 RSM.
KB4 Romeo Sierra Mike. How you doing?
Hey, Paul. Yes, Glenn. Good. Just got in, so was wondering if I'd missed it.
Oh no, you didn't miss it. You're right on the money. How you doing? Yeah, but by the way, I saw your pictures. Very nice. I like that video of the dog. It's excellent. I had to send it out to the group.
Oh wow, thanks. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Appreciate it. Yeah, just been up in Murfreesboro and was listening in some on my way back from 840. So that was interesting seeing who and where I could hear and whatnot. But having fun with it. So just wanted to check in.
Yeah. Also, which video editing software do you use?
Right now, I'm using DaVinci Resolve. It's a package you can actually get for free. It started out more as a color correction tool, but it's become a full NLE editor. And for what you get in it for free, in my opinion, it's really nice.
Huh. It'll do multiple visual, audio, and video tracks.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's big time. It's you know, there's some full production movie type stuff using it.
Huh. And it's free?
Absolutely. There's what they call a studio version that you can pay for. That's actually not much money, but will get you just a few extra things like using multiple machines to render with for speeding up, you know, difficult renders, like if you're doing a big 4K project or something. But other than that, the free version is actually pretty spectacular.
Well, the last machine I bought is a 32 gigabyte RAM, which helps out a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Sounds awesome. Yeah, it definitely does help. Having a lot of memory, having a good fast hard drive, having a good fast graphics card. I put together a machine just for video editing, but every now and then, when it's just convenient, I'll use my laptop, and you know, I can tell a decent, you know, difference. But you should at least go take a look at their webpage and check it out, because for what it is, it's pretty nice actually.
Yeah, I'll take a look. I'm using Pinnacle. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's quite extensive. It's got a little bit of a learning curve to it, but it works well, but it's still, you know, it's almost like Adobe. You got to get used to it.
Yeah, I think most of them really are that way. I've used Adobe Premiere before some, just because it's like the standard that most, you know, everybody's using. Tons of YouTubers and things. It's very common, and so I've used it some. Have access to it. I've used a couple other packages. This one just kind of felt right for me, and at the time I thought, you know, of course the price was right too.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. No, well, if it's free, it means the Chinese are hacking your computers all the time.
There you go. I think this started out as a really nice package that they gave away with their really high-end cameras, because Blackmagic sells really high-end cinema cameras, and it would be included with it. And then they started, once it became more in a color correction tool, they started just you know, letting anybody get a hold of it, and it's kind of become pretty popular.
You're not telling me you own one of those Blackmagic cameras?
No, sir. No, I didn't quite got there. My skill level's not quite up to actually needing one of those, but you know, I do use a mirrorless for most of my video work, but the editor's pretty good, because it'll basically one of its strong points is it'll basically play just about any type of file type or format. And so some of the newer cameras are encoding in what's called an H.265. It's a newer, more compressed, smaller type of file set to handle 4K files better, but it's really taxing on your computer. And for me, you know, DaVinci Resolve just eats that up. So they've got something good going.
That's awesome. I'll talk more about that, because yeah, because even that Pinnacle, it's not too expensive. I think it's $65, but you know, that's worse than free.
Yeah, I know what you mean. No, I've tried several. They've all got their strong points and some of their weak points and that type of thing. But I'm stuck with it for now and enjoying it, and it's getting it done for me. They do frequent updates and try to stay ahead of the game, so I like it. Cool.
Well, very good. Good to have you in there, Glenn. I'll send out that thing to the group, and also send you the link to some of the things I've got you might be interested in. That was Glenn, Kilo Bravo 4 Romeo Sierra Mike. You did say you actually are in Mount Juliet, right?
Yes, I'm at home now. I've gotten home. I'm the one that's right over here at 109 and 40.
Yeah, I can't even remember where the city lines are, so I have to guess.
Well, you're right, because I go out of my driveway and take a right, and I see a sign that says "Welcome to Mount Juliet." I go out of my driveway and take a left, I see a sign that says "Welcome to Lebanon." So yeah, but, I mean, I actually have a Mount Juliet zip code.
I know, it gets a little confusing. That's why I said it. I don't think of 109 as being Mount Juliet, but I know it is. All right, very good, Glenn. Good to have you in there. And again, Kilo Bravo 4 Romeo Sierra Mike. And I'm going to send out a link. He's got some nice pictures and at least one great video that I remember seeing. I don't think I saw everything. He's I'll say an above average amateur radio, above average photographer out there. Looks better than my stuff for sure. But anyway, good to have you in there, Glenn. Anybody else east, north, or late check-ins?
I'm not late. W9BOQ.
Well, you were in there earlier, and then you got involved in something else.
Well, when you called north before, I was on the floor underneath my desk, and I got up, but then the last guy got in before me. No big deal.
Nah, no big deal. But now you're a happy camper. You got your speakers fixed, your cables all set up, so you don't need a tuner anymore, and you're in Fat City.
No, I need a tuner, but when I ran single sideband on 2 meters or 40 meters, my speakers just freaked out. But I have all the ladder line outside my shack now, and it's working. I did a few experiments, and I got it the way I want it, and I'm happy.
Excellent. Yeah, it is annoying when you get those kind of interference problems on your speakers or on other things. It's a pain in the neck.
Well, it was weird. If I had both speakers plugged in, the left one would be freaking out. So if I unplugged the left one, then the right one would freak out. If I unplugged the right one and plugged in the left one didn't freak out. It was like really strange.
Yeah, I've told this story before. I was working a radio station, a ham station at a hospital. It was in their basement, and I think it was 6 meters. I decided I'd do something on 6. I think it was 6, and I was calling on CQ. I wasn't getting any responses. I probably did it for 15 minutes or something, 20 minutes. And then I hear a knock on the door because it's in an enclosed locker room. The door opens up and the guard comes in. He says, "Are you doing something on a radio in here?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, whatever you're saying, they can hear it throughout the entire emergency room."
That's great. So yeah, I was hearing everybody. A couple of people south were like S1, but everybody was readable tonight. So I think conditions are pretty good. I'm gonna look around on some of the repeaters over in East Tennessee later tonight.
All righty, sounds good. Yeah, you should be able to hear everybody to check in today, I think. Even you heard, I'm pretty sure you heard Ed down there, ZGY down there, down near where on Shake, right?
Yeah, I heard everybody.
Very good. You even heard the people you didn't know were there. Right, Dennis. That was Dennis. He's in Castellian Springs, Whiskey 9, Bravo, Oscar, Quebec. Great signal, as always. Well, not always. It's been great since you got your tower and your antenna up. It's been much better. In fact, it beats mine, and I'm sure in most cases. And I'm telling you, you got to get practice with net control. Anybody else late check-in, please come in.
Hey, 4IDC mobile.
Hey, where are you mobile there tonight, Robin?
Just west of you on I-40 eastbound. I'm about 2 miles from Mount Juliet Road.
All right, very good. We're going to get everybody on here on what do you call it? Can't even think of it. The reporting system, position reporting.
APRS.
Yeah, I can't even spell APRS.
Yeah, well, you're getting old, It happens.
I couldn't think of it. I still haven't figured out what it's useful for. That's why I can't remember it.
Oh, it's useful when you send a storm spotter out in the field. You can't get him on the radio. At least you know where his vehicle is.
Yeah, you know where he died.
Pretty much.
That's right. All right, we doing all right?
All good. No complaints.
Yeah, very good. How's those plants doing out front yard?
All good. Still blooming.
Now, you're going to have to keep watering it because it looks like no rain for the next 10 days.
Yeah, I know. I gave the Japanese maples a good drink of water this morning. A couple of events I wanted to mention. I think you might have mentioned the Vet City Ham Fest coming up the first Saturday in October. And then a week and a half from today is the September ARRL VHS contest.
Send me a note. Well, I can look those up, but send me a note on it anyway if you don't mind. So that way I won't forget for those 2 events. I know about the Vet City. I'm not familiar with. I guess I could look up that that other event as well. Send it to me.
If I think of it, I will.
I'll remind you to send it to me.
Yeah, and send me a packet message.
I'll do it on RTTY. All right, Robin, good to have you in there. Mobile, that's Robin Mobile. His last name isn't Mobile. It's Robin. His call is Kilo 4 India Delta Charlie. And anybody out there late check-ins?
Kilo India 4 November Delta November Mobile.
Okay, you got to remember, our next, we're going to go to the alternate secret frequency next. You know that, David.
Hey, good evening, Paul. Is this it's not one of them secret frequencies?
Yeah, if it is, it's pretty. The secret's out for 5 years now.
I heard that. I'm on that little bow thing sitting on top of that high hill out there in what is it, Coffee County again, 5 watts.
Oh man, you got the most powerful 5 watts, and I got the most receptive antenna on the planet.
Well, I'm sitting at 1,297 feet, and there's a little opening to the trees right here, and it's just got probably a pretty good straight shot at you, because I can pull right down this spot and get you.
Now you're doing a good job. For those of you that couldn't hear, that's David, Kilo India 4 November Delta November. He's down in Coffee County. What would you say that distance is from me? Do you know?
I would guess 42 miles.
He's 42 miles south of me on 5 watts, but he's at 1,297 feet, so he's got a distinct, well, I don't know if it's an advantage, but he's certainly getting out better because of the altitude. But yeah, that's great, David. Are you just down there checking out to see if my antenna is still working?
Nate, I was playing music with a buddy of mine, and he's 84, 85 this year, and just keep him and me both active.
Oh, yeah, that's great. What does he play?
He plays flat top guitar.
He plays a what guitar?
Just guitar.
Okay, very good. Just curious. Sounds good. Is he any good?
Say again?
Is he any good? I'm asking if he's any good with the guitar.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, he knows. He probably start singing now, sing them old country and western bluegrass songs, sing all night long, never sing same song twice, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what, like I've said before, I don't know if you've heard me, but I didn't realize how many good guitar players there were in this world until I came into Tennessee.
Well, he's 3 chords in a tune kind of fella, but he was singing at by the time he's 7 playing guitar in church and singing.
Oh no, it doesn't matter to me. It's a, you can be a very simplistic player of almost any. In fact, the simpler it appears to be, it often takes more skill to play it simply and straightforward that people like it.
Yes, sir. Well, it sure is an honor and a privilege for me to sit down with him and play, and I really enjoy it. So let's all appreciate you, sir, and thank you for what you did last night, and I'll be coming to other people.
Yeah, very good, David. Good to have you in there. Again, he's in Coffee County on 5 watts at a high altitude, but on 5 watts, and it's Kilo India 4 November Delta November. He also does the net control for the monthly Rutherford County Aries Simplex net on 146,475, and that's on the first Tuesday of every month, in case you're interested. But I do send out reminders if you want to get involved in that. Anybody else late checking?
Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu.
Boy, you waited until the last, didn't you, Earl?
Yeah, I did.
Kilo 4. I was trying. I got dyslexic here on your call here. I wrote it down wrong and I had to rewrite it because I couldn't remember what it was. How you doing, Earl? I haven't talked to you in a few days.
I'm doing all right. Just been neglecting a few things over here. I've been trying to get back in order and stuff. And was in there watching that there documentary on them there superstorms been having the last few years and everything like that. Daggone, my heart goes out to those ones that's having that recent one coming up through the East Coast and everything here in the next few days and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh, I know. In fact, as a part of that thing, I was watching I don't know who the guy was sponsored by, but he flew out on purpose to go get involved in one of those super, I forget what it was, cyclone out in the Philippines. And he went out, he was standing out in the midst of this super cyclone at this resort that got tore up, and he was out there with a GoPro camera. I thought, you got to be nuts. I thought he was going to die out there.
Yeah, it seems, I don't know, some people get a little bit carried away with them, what they call them hardcore storm chasers or whatever like that, and their equipment they got to go up and everything. I seen where they made this drone they can drop from a high altitude plane that they circle around and whatever in those daggone hurricanes and things like that, them superstorms, whatever they want to call them, and that sends data until it can't fly through it no more and everything like that, so they can get some kind of prediction on where it's not going to go versus where they think it's going to go.
Yeah, no, that's some dangerous stuff. My wife didn't realize that. She says, how do they get those images so close to that hurricane? I said, the Navy flies planes right on top of it. They fly right through that mess. She goes, you're kidding? I said, no, they've been doing it for, I don't know, 40 years.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a while. I mean, that hurricane's only so high they can get above it and fly through it all the way around it and everything nowadays. Makes me think about, well, maybe I might need to get me a contractor who's got some earth moving equipment and dig me a tornado storm shelter or something over here if the hurricanes are getting as bad as they're saying and whatnot like that because of the old hurricane thing. And then I'll be thinking, well, I might need to check on the landfall to see about the earthquake, whereabouts it's at around these parts too.
Well, listen, you were in the Army. You got one of those entrenching tools, don't you?
Yeah, but those things only work for so long, and it's just a little dab at a time.
Yeah. I used to have one of those when I used to do a lot of camping with the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, I got one of those there big long handled shovels laying up out here in the yard against one of these trees. I tried to get Terry to operate that thing. I asked him the other day when he's over here if he knew how to operate a backhoe, and he said he did. And I said, well, I got one over there laying against that tree. Go ahead and have at it. And he kind of said, oh, not that kind of backhoe.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I don't like that end of the shovel myself, but I've used it quite a bit. All right, well, very good, Earl. I'm glad you're in there. Yeah, let me know I'll find help for you if you want to dig a new basement or a vault, an underground vault. It's a chore. Anyway, that's Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu. Earl, he's over in I think it's called Noreen over there, east of the Cedars of Lebanon Park. Anybody else late checking? Anybody else late grade or whatever? All right, we're going to take late check-ins, lurkers, lollygaggers, sandbaggers, scanner listeners, SDR donglers, of which I'm a proud non-member of an SDR dongler club. And let's see, there was also preppers and end-time survivors. Got nothing. Okay, we had 21 check-ins. It was a good group, and I hope you had some fun listening to some of it, at least the other end of it, if you could hear them, and hope you can understand how you can better hear other stations, and of course you can hear it on the web as well to figure out what signals I can hear, and then you know who I'm talking to, so you know I'm not lying. Generally don't do that. I have done it, but you guys have a great night. You people, I got to include Mary in there because I certainly don't. Everybody's not a guy on the net. Anyway, 21's a great number, and we had a lot of fun, I think, and I know I did. Appreciate the net, and that was Clinton finishes up 515. Amazing. I don't know how I managed to work my way through 515. So have a great night, guys. K4PW. I'll be on the air for most of the evening.